We've got some great games and great series ahead of us. I'm so excited to dive straight into this. Talk to me. What do we have lying ahead of us here, Potter?
A series in the Master Division. No changes to the 4-game series. It is Inferno up against Fearless Alpha. Fearless Alpha, 2/3 of this roster, won the division last season. They've added them to their ranks alongside Lutix, and they'll be playing up against Jockey Jr., Sky Ayer, all season on the roster of Inferno. Ignite Esports, they're back in the RSC.
They are back, and they are terrifying as always. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how these two teams pan out. I mean, we can only talk about hypotheticals in the preseason about how these two rosters may face against each other, how any of these rosters may pan out. But only now, only beginning now, we really see what these rosters are made of. So, Master, they are up first. We get to see Ignite back onto things, and one of the two Fearless teams that will be playing tonight will be up ahead. And just talking about your gut here, Potter, what is your gut saying? What are we going to be seeing? Are we seeing a 2-2, a 3-1? What is this going to be looking like this series?
I mean, it's such a hard game to call, especially for the first stream. The first series back on the RSC for Season 11. And it's two absolute titans. It's going to be so hard to call with Ignite. They don't build bad rosters over on Ignite. And then you're playing against two players who won the division last season. It's got 2-2 all over it for me.
It has got 2-2 written all over it. But, when have I ever gone for the easy answer, honestly? This is going to be a 3-1 to Ignite Esports Inferno. Alright, I'm just calling it. I think Fearless Alpha, they'll take game one. But this Inferno roster, they will bounce back and look mighty fine in the third other games. But we are underway! And oh my lord, we're going to see some action. Season with a nice clearance initially. Looking to put the pressure on. Oh, and a nice early attempt coming out from Jockey there. Sky trying to keep the pressure on, but instantly cleared out. DLH with a bit of a clearance. But again, the rotations are there. And that's going to be something that I think a lot, will become even more apparent as the weeks go on. How are these rotations panning out? What is the communication like as Kenzo does get an early save?
In the communication, the cohesion of these rosters is only going to build as they get to play with each other more. This is technically, or it could be, the first series that these guys have ever played together, getting drafted onto a team, getting put all together on a roster. They've got to combine, they've got to find a way to win, and they've got a whole season ahead of them to do just that.
Exactly. And if I'm slightly delayed, guys, it's because I am currently screen watching on Potter's Discord. My Rocket League isn't booting, but we will get there eventually. And hopefully I'll be able to get into the later stages of these games. But so far, 0-0. No goal scored in the first minute, and that's a good sign usually of these two teams working out and working around each other, not giving away any free opportunities so far.
First game feels just trying to find out how each other play, how they can break each other down. The first goal in these kind of matchups is going to be absolutely crucial for whatever team is going to come out with it. Genzo taking it up into the air is denied by Jockey Jr. in midfield, then trying to transition over. It's free ball for Sky. Sky's shot denied instantly by DLH, who again looking to transition downfield. Gets a 50 with Jockey in the corner. Couldn't find the touch out. Could Jockey as Genzo off the back wall. Someone's going to be there. Season. No touch found. Shot from Dems over the crossbar. DLH isn't going to be there to follow up, and Inferno can count their lucky stars.
They really can, and they can. The amount of things they have left, because honestly, I think their lives might start to dwindle. But so far, both these teams really vying for each other's control. A couple of minutes left here. Right now, neither team really finding overt amount of openings. Yes, that was the first opportunity. It was close, but nothing too threatening yet.
We approach the halfway point in this game, still at a 0-0 deadlock. Like I previously stated, the first goal in this game is going to be absolutely crucial. First goal normally ends up winning the match, and with plays like this from D-Lynch getting shut out by Jockey, the transition coming through for Inferno, it's only going to be a matter of time until one of these teams scores and breaks said deadlock.
You know what? I'm sniffing an overtime with the way these two teams are matched up. A lot of individual attempts coming out, and there's a good passing play opened up by D-Lynch here. And Demi, can he slot that one in? It's another save, but eventually D-Lynch will find the back of the net. It's the first goal going over into the blue side. What a great way to open things up as well. There's definitely the confidence that this team needed.
plays coming out for Fearless Alpha. They've been peppering the defense of Inferno for the majority of this game, and finally they reap their rewards of it, claiming the first goal in this series, the first goal back in RSC11 stream season. Needing to find one back though for Inferno. They're wanting to tie this game up. They're not going to just sit back. This is a point in the game where they need to get the offense flowing. They need to create some chances and hopefully get back into this game.
They've got to keep composed here. If they let their heads drop after conceding that goal, then they really will have a tough series ahead of us, especially with this Fearless Alpha roster who are really starting to apply the pressure. They're starting to screw it down. Really, asphyxiation is going to start happening as the second goal seems to just be looming for this Fearless roster.
Looking back on your predictions, 1-0 scoreline is what you said, Fearless Alpha. Gonna be winning the first game. Inferno need to flip the script. It's a great challenge from Sky to open up some space, but Genzo's demo is gonna shut out any potential threat. Dem, this time taking it into the air. Jockey to shut it down once again. Season, instant challenge off of the corner. It's bouncing up high. Genzo's gonna have to deal with it. Does so successfully, and still we haven't really seen any chances coming out for Inferno. Only the one shot from their side over the 4 minutes of Rocket League we've played out so far in game number 1.
4 minutes played, really neither team since that first goal from Fearless, it does seem like they are starting to really pound the pressure on and seem to be taking full control of this game. But this roster with Jock leading the charge could well lead to a 1-goal draw. But right now, Fearless, they're getting away with their lucky stars. Whether the script may be flipping, you can just slightly feel the momentum shift happening here. As the demo is getting traded out, so just gone past the 30-second marker. Season wanting to put the pressure on the side of this Ignite roster. Jockey is there once again, but challenge D-Lynch wanting to keep that pressure away. Genzo missing the touch in the midfield may well open things up. However, the slow turnaround is the pressure once again, but the Fearless almost that ball dropping in on the 10-second marker could be dangerous. Is this it, Potter? We're going to see the first game going over to Fearless of season 11. And we are going to see exactly that. Fearless Alpha taking game 1 and the first game of the season of this season, RSC season 11. It's a great performance, but 1-0. These two teams really taking it to each other.
The story just seemed to be too little too late from Inferno. The last 20 seconds was where they got all their offense through, but they couldn't break the defense of Fearless Alpha. They claimed the first game like we stated, but still, both teams very much in it. Inferno can easily bring this back, but Fearless Alpha could easily ramp it up to the next level and get some more goals on the board.
So it doesn't feel like this Inferno roster have really started going yet. They haven't caught their spark just as of yet. I really do expect them to be put up maybe a little bit more of a fight in this second game. And that's not me saying that they were outclassed by Fearless Alpha whatsoever. It was a close game. Fearless Alpha found their opening, courtesy of D-Lynch. However, Jockey season, they're seasoned players. They know what they're doing, and it feels like they've just got a little bit more to give. So expect them to come out swinging in this game number 2.
If anybody knows how to adapt, if anybody knows how to come back from potential knockdowns, it's going to be a roster built by Ignite Esports. It's what they've done throughout the entire time in the RSC, and they're not going to stop as soon as they've came back. This is the point in the series where we see Inferno come back, and they're going to have to do just that.
Exactly. Inferno, it's your time to shine, boys. Let's see what you are made of. They are on the back foot initially after the kickoff. The season looking for the redirect as he found it was on target. But knocked away nice and early. Jug trying to keep the attack on. A great shot from Sky. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. Inferno, they bounce back. They know how to slot goals away. And they know how to take games.
This is exactly where we left off at the end of last game. The offense starting to come through for Inferno. We've started up the start of this second game, and it's been the same tale, the same story coming through for Inferno. The offense finally getting some players together, finally some shots on the board, but Fearless Alpha coming through from Genzo. They only need the one opportunity, the one shot on goal, and it could be all tied up again.
Exactly. Just one misstep, one misrotation. well open the door for Fearless Alpha, and with the quality that we are watching here, any mistake, you give them an inch, they will take a mile. A bit of a team play attempt coming out from, I believe that was Sky and Zizon, but unfortunately it did not transpire. Jock is there to keep the momentum forward, pinched out in 50-50 in that midfield area. Another follow-up clearance coming out from Dem to keep that pressure just ticking forward. Bit of a midfield struggle here, Potter. Right now, that first goal, exactly, I think, what Inferno needed to build that confidence up and to make sure that they know they can take it to this Fearless roster, and they know they can take things forward in this series. It's all about maintaining that composure. But right now, the midfield battle, that is where my questions are like, who is going to come out on top?
Indeed, both teams really going at it in the midfield. No player has really taken control of that ball, taken that one extra touch and tried to take it slow. It's loads of 50s coming out, loads of aerial challenges, just trying to slow each other down, but nobody really taking a grasp that momentum shift to try and drive up and transition the play up. But this is Genzo off of the sidewall, trying to do exactly what I say. Jockey, though, into the infield of his own defensive back corner, does find Sky to get the ball cleared. 3 minutes left in this game. Inferno still 1-0 up.
Still 1-0. Could that singular goal be exactly what is needed? Obviously, that first game, Wyndham's Vader of Fearless, only a single goal lead. Let's see whether the same fortunes lie for this Inferno roster. I do like what D-Lynch has been doing, though, but as I'm talking, Zizon puts that second goal in, puts a little bit more of a cushion for Inferno. 2 goals is much more comfortable than one, as simple and as dumb as that sounds. I think it's more profound than ever if you're playing on the Rocket League pitch. But a great kick-off and great start for a comeback even in that game number, for this game number 2 for this Inferno roster. And as you said, Potter, Ignite Esports, they don't build bad rosters. They built rosters with resilience. And this is exactly what Sky, Jock and Zizon are showing to us right now.
Shires, QX, they're veterans in the RSC scene. They know what they're doing. They know how to build rosters, and this is exactly what they would want. They know that teams, of course, they're not going to go undefeated unless you are Primordial of last season. Teams are going to face hard times, and this is exactly how you bounce back from it. It's a lecture of Ignite Esports, but Fearless, they've got the task on their hands now. They need to prove why they are the top dogs, why they did win last season. But they're still down a 2-0 deficit, and they're going to have to find some way to come back in this game. They've got 2 minutes to do just that, and with Season shot denied by D-Lynch, shot back on from Sky. Third goal is going to come through for Inferno. It doesn't look like it's happening in game 2.
We talked a lot about Ignite's resilience here, but Fearless Alpha, they are seem to be crumbling a little bit. The snowball effect is really starting to happen in a bit more of a profound way than possible, and that to me is scary. We talked about, as you say, the resilience of Sky, Jock and Season, but Genzo, Dem and D-Lynch, come on, where were they going? They seem to be resorting back to their own individual mechanics and really have forgotten that this is a team game. They have to be looking for each other. They have to be talking to each other and trusting each other with the touch in the ball a lot more. But D-Lynch putting a goal in the back of the net. I mean, if there was any player of this Fearless roster who I thought would be bouncing and stepping up when they need, it would be D-Lynch. A great finish from him, putting it those top left bins. A really, really important goal for Fearless, as things were really starting to snowball in favour of Ignite.
Of course, it's D-Lynch, the man to start this potential comeback up. They've got 2 goals to find and 1 minute 20 seconds to find said 2 goals. Inferno not wanting it to stay as a 3-1 game. They're looking for a fall. That would be the deadly blow in the face of the Fearless Alpha's eyes, realistically. Jockey popping it up. D-Lynch trying to find somebody, looking for Genzo. Season couldn't intercept it. It gives Sky some time in the corner to try and do something. All they need to do is stall, and they've got game 2 in their grasp.
They really do. He said stall, park the bus, whip it out. You just need to keep them controlled, and you can definitely see them and feel the presence of their eyes staring at the clock just as moments go. But Genzo with a lovely touch and a great dunk onto Sky. Unfortunately for him, either D-Lynch or Dem were anywhere to be seen. D-Lynch just put one wide, and these goals, it's just being elusive for them. Right now, what I'm seeing is there's opportunities being presented for the Phyllis roster, but there's a sense of nerve, sense of hesitancy for them to follow up with a shot, with them to turn that midfield and go for a follow-up shot, because they're concerned for the counter-attack, which has definitely been really potent for Ignite. And with the clock ticking down, this game 2 is over. We'll be taking game 2 and tying the series up 1 apiece. And just a reminder, if you guys don't remember, it's a 4-game series. And that's how we figure out the tables and the standings as the season progresses. Yes, you can tie this series, but you really don't want to. You want to be coming away with a win. But 1-1 now, Inferno, Fearless Alpha tying things up. And props to this Inferno roster, particularly Sky, who has got those 2 goals and 3 shots to his name. Exactly what he's what is needed to do. But D-Lynch, he really was the only one pulling his weight in this Fearless Alpha roster. Genzo, Dem, there was complacency, there was hesitancy, there was over care there. They've got to be confident. They've got to be able to turn that midfield area to apply pressure onto Inferno. They did it in game number 1. It caught Inferno off guard, and they've got to do it again in this game number 3.
Helps. 2 games gone. Oh, how I've missed the RSC. You're back in the booth. The 4-game series are back. The stream is back. Ignite is back in the RSC. It's a great day to be alive.
I know, it's slightly reminiscent of season 6, 7. You know what I mean? Back with Ignite ruling the rooster in that, used to be top tier, elite tier, with that incredible roster, untouchable. And then, my mind does cast back to them. It was good times, but we're here now. Season 11. Ignite are back. We're tying up the series 1 apiece, against Fearless Alpha. What more do you want if you're an RSC fan? But guys, back to the action. I'm curious to see how these 2 teams pan out. But look at this Fearless Alpha roster. Potter, what do they need to do here in this game number 3? Where is going to be their pedestal to get back up to the heights that they achieved in that game number 1?
Well, again, I'm going to cast back to last season. D-Lynch won the tier. Genzo won the tier. Dem needs to step up to the plate and show their worth. Why D-Lynch and Genzo pick them to stay on this roster, pick them to be the man to lead them forward and try and repeat the same feat again. All eyes are going to be on Dem 9 to show up in this match, and an open net there for Dem is not what you want to be seeing. The shot should have been tucked away. It should be 1-0 to Fearless Alpha, but the offense still coming through. They can still find a goal early on.
Just the discipline coming out from Inferno right here. They're not letting those clearance balls roll in. They were there on the rotation back, and yes, granted, if there was a little bit more power, it might have gone in, but there wasn't enough power there because they were disciplined, because they made it difficult for any sort of clearance shot to come in. And that is definitely really important why I think Inferno have tied up the series in that game number 2. Sky having to fire a shot on Genzo with a lovely save to his name. But instantly, the pressure for Inferno starting to look a little bit more dangerous than anything we've seen in this Fearless Alpha's first minute.
Go onto the backboard, 50 down. Genzo can't get to it. Jockey's shot is over the crossbar, and the mere margins denying both of these teams opening goals. I mean, still stuck at 0-0. It's going to go back to my point of game 1. The first goal here is going to be so important, especially when matchups are intense as this. We see Dem flying over the ball. D-Lynch gets a touch onto it. Season's going to be there, allowed to shot onto the backboard, looking for the double touch. No boost to find the Jockey's shot, though, is calm, collected. D-Lynch was able to make the save onto it. In Fearless Alpha, the pressure's really coming on. Genzo's going to have to deal with it and try and transition across. Sky there to intercept and make sure the ball is firmly in the Fearless.
Yeah, definitely cemented its place here. And right now, Fearless, they're just kind of panicking, looking for those random clearances, those long clearances, to give themselves some breathing room. But right now, every sort of attempt they're finding is bearing no fruit apart from Genzo just there. Brilliant air dribble out of his own half has bought a lot of time for the script to be flipped. He's looking to do his own bit of magic, not able to get as best car control as he wanted there, and subsequently not able to find the back in there, but the pressure still this time on Inferno. Fearless Alpha take a bit more control of that midfield, and you can see that they're starting to short rotate here. They're starting to go for those mid boosts a bit more and not deep rotate like they were in that game number 2. Eventually, that offense was broken down by Jock. However, still the momentum in the half of Fearless Alpha. They've got to score first, you're saying. I think if Inferno goes up one more time, I'm concerned for the Fearless Alpha mental.
Mental could crush it, could be Sky to do it. He's up for the ball 50 with them, though could allow an opportunity for Fearless to come away with said first goal, but no bump was found onto Jockey. He's looking for an infield pass over to Sky, intercepted away by D-Lynch, who couldn't find Genzo on the left side wall. Dem, though, to deal with this one onto the backboard. He's got time and space, potentially Boost as well to deal with it. Pops it over one, Jockey there to intercept. Then again, just turning away from that one. Genzo's clear, is straight to Sky. Jockey this time looking for a redirect, couldn't find any boost in the air because there's no pads in the air to do anything, to get any boost, to do anything with the ball. Sees on that taken time, popping it over again, so onto the corner. Dem's already there for the read, didn't get the read, could allow a shot from Jockey. D-Lynch though, great save. Minute 30 left in this one, and still the stalemate is staying with us for the time being.
How important was that save? That whiff on the side by Dem could have been absolutely dangerous, and that bump could have been even more important. Genzo somehow recovering and getting back for the save, and eventually Dem is going to clear his lines. Dangerous moments, but Fearless they were on defense, able to keep that out somehow. Still 0-0, and with a minute left on the clock, the side of Inferno really putting the pressure on. Fearless trying to get out of their own half, and it just feels like repeating things. Two demos coming out from Dem and Gento. Sky and Jockey will be out of the play momentarily. Deal is looking to put that pressure on. Sky cuts the pass out in the midfield. Gento is there once again, knocks it forward, looking for Jock. Does find him, but Jock, wrong teammate, is cleared out. D-Lynch looking to pressure again. Sky gets the second touch, which is huge. Dem really quick to the ball there. Tries to fire a shot off that ceiling. Not going to come away with anything though. Sky's 50-50 now. Season is going to eventually find the clearance. Looks for the touch. Can't find him. Instead find Dem instead there. But a great 50-50 by Genzo is going to keep Fearless with all the pressure in the world. Dem, could he find the opening? Right now, both teams, they can't even buy a goal.
No, they cannot. But now one goal should definitely win you the game. Whether that's in overtime, whether that is a buzzer beater right here, right now. D-Lynch to send it upfield. Jockey was not having any of that as he sent it straight to the ground. And we have overtime in game 3. Match point on the line. Potential to win the series. One goal is all it takes.
One goal. Genzo looking to do exactly that. Sky just takes it away at the last second. Genzo is looking threatening there. Dem, the newcomer, can he do anything with the ball? Sets up Genzo, and it's exactly what was needed. My prediction may well have gone out the window with that, but Dem, welcome to this roster. Welcome to Genzo and D-Lynch, the winners from season 10. He steps up when he needs to, sets up Genzo for the finish, and the assist came through at the perfect time. Fearless Alpha, they will go up 2-1 in the series here as we go towards the 4th game. Inferno, it's your turn to respond, but Fearless Alpha's defense, you have to say, if it wasn't for the amount of saves that they got, 6 to their name, they only had one shot which went in, Potter. And you turn around to Inferno, 7 shots to their name, 0 saves. They didn't need to make any saves because they were just constantly on offense. However, it was not meant to be. The Fearless Alpha's defense holding it out, making the saves when need to be. And they were the ones who were able to find the finish when the most important time came. Inferno, they'll be kicking themselves. To be honest with you, Fearless Alpha, they stole that game. They had no right of winning it, but they did, and that's what counts. It's Inferno. That'll be a sore one. That'll be bitter.
It's exactly that. I mean, no, they did not deserve that game at all. However, it goes back to a previous statement of mine of Fearless Alpha. They need the one chance, one shot, one opportunity. And what a play it was from Dem and Genzo to slot it into the top right corner. And because of that one play, that one opportunity, that one shot on goal, they came away with game 3. They're here on the match point, and as we set up here in game number 4, everything on the line for Inferno. You take this game, you tie it up, but Fearless Alpha, you either win or you draw, which is a good result on either end of the spectrum for them.
Indeed, I cannot agree more with you. Right now, at the beginning of the season, yes, you really want to be getting these early victories because it can pay huge dividends towards the back end of the season, but it isn't the end of the world. You know, it isn't that final couple of weeks where every win really does matter more than anything. You have got time to adapt and to pull through, and particularly with these two rosters with such prestigiousness behind them, I think both these teams will be happy with a tie, but more for Fearless Alpha, who'd be happy with a win. But that is right now not looking like the trajectory that this game is falling in. Sky with a brilliant shot, and I thought that was going to go in at the end, but he had the presence of mind to go for the bump onto Gento to take away that final defender. That's a nice easy slot in at the end by Jockey. And that's going to be 1-0 in favour of Inferno. A far better track record, scoring record, than they had in that game number 3. Let's see if they can keep that momentum up and continuing in this game. It hasn't yet to be a minute. We're just about to cross that minute marker here in this game number 4. Let's see if they can keep up their momentum on their favour. But Dem, here's the ball now. He really was that key star in that game number 3. Can he be the one maybe to unlock this Inferno defense?
550 with D-Lynch. D-Lynch's pinch goes all the way downfield and straight onto the top of Season's car. Dem looking for a pass infield. No one's going to be there to reach it. Big boom off the backboard is read by Sky. It's heading towards the top left corner. D-Lynch had it covered, but Season shot again denied by Dem. The defense finally looked to have some kind of rhythm into it for Fearless Alpha, but this one again onto the backboard. Jockey's there for the read. No angle found for the shot. Looking for a pass infield. 50 with Genzo is going to fall out to Season. Season's double touch attempt was cleared away by Dem over to the right hand side wall. Sky there to collect again. Down awkwardly walks past D-Lynch. Genzo's going to have to deal with it. It's an awkward touch to deal with, but he's got the boost. Doesn't have the reset, gets it over Sky without the reset. Didn't need it anyway. Had to nerf himself. Season shot top left over D-Lynch. You're not saving that one if you're not positioned correctly, D-Lynch.
Yeah, and I mean, Inferno, I think they really figured out what was going wrong for them in that game 3. Maybe being a little bit too, over-eager here. Maybe too overconfident in that game number 3 and rushing things. They were going for shots really early without kind of setting themselves up for success. But here in this game number 4, you can see that they're putting balls towards the back bar, slowly dismantling the defense of Fearless Alpha. And they're finding success with it. It gets it with a huge bump, almost bearing some fruit for them. But Dem does find that clearance forward. D-Lynch put towards the side, just gets a nice touch. Not the best of catches, however, unfortunately for him, as Gento does take the ball away, trying to put that pressure on. It's 50-50 right towards that opposite corner. So a bit of a reset coming out for Fearless Alpha here, but Sky giving them absolutely no room to breathe. A bit of a double coming on defense. Season's shot almost being a little bit too dangerous for Fearless Alpha to bear. Sky does get the touch towards the center, but Gento waiting as he came off the backboard. D-Lynch just going to fire a shot fast and hard. But again, rotations clean and concise for this Inferno roster. And what a check! Oh.
Wow.
What am I looking at? So Season with a huge clearance, and Jock cherry picks it onto the backboard and follows that with a double tap. Call a slow roller. I mean, I call that class. What a finish coming out from Jockey. And that's going to put the 3rd goal. And you know what? With that sort of finish, I'd say pretty much to stamp a nail in the coffin.
What a strike to put Inferno 3-0 up for the man who was the last pick in the Master Draft this season. 2 minutes left on the clock. Fearless Alpha need to find 3, and it doesn't look like a single goal is coming anytime soon. Only 2 shots all game, and they need to find 3 goals.
I mean, they had, that's doubling their shot percentage in game, from game 3. They only had 1 shot game 3, and granted, it was the absolute most important shot of the game. But still, haven't got the best track record of getting out their own half in this series. So far, I think they really are going to be grateful for their performance in that game number 1. And grateful for, I think, their fortune in game number 3 here. A lot to work on both sides, but the points going to be going both ways as the minute marker is around the corner here. And right now, this Inferno roster doing everything right to set the final pick in the Master Tier, coming up from Jockey, saying, why the hell did no other team pick me? A 3rd goal proving absolutely pivotal here. D-Lynch does get damaged as he attempting to flip the script and flip the momentum in their half. But as the clock dwindles down, the likelihood of a comeback dwindles with it as well. Delic trying to put something forward, doesn't knock it forward towards the backboard over a teammate, but again, rotations and the defense proving too much, too hot to handle for this Fearless roster. The 30 seconds ticking down, Potter. I think that's all she wrote.
It could well be. Maybe a fourth for Inferno. Their offense has looked absolutely blooming. Sky onto the backboard. It's an open net. As I say, 4. Sky beans off the crossbar straight to Sazan and calculated, much like my prediction.
Much like your prediction, the 4-0 is going to be in this game. And the 2-2 of the series. Potter predictions hot as always. But 14 seconds and ticking. Could there be a fifth? Only time will tell here, but I think Fearless Alpha will be looking forward to this series being over. They'll be kicking themselves that they weren't able to capitalize on more, and I think actually Inferno will probably kick themselves even harder here for not taking that game number 3. As you said, they got, had the game stolen away from them with the amount of shots they had. But GG's all around. The first series of Season 11 is over already. I'm slightly heartbroken by it, but oh my words, we get a clip as well. Jockey seemingly finding a shot out of absolutely nowhere. Able to get a clip as in this first series of Season 11. What a way to start it out. And, just glancing across all the stats in Potter, talk to me through what really stood out to you in that series?
The absolute robbery of Fearless Alpha getting that third game is going to be in my mind for a while. The offense we saw from Inferno, their shots, they were getting loads of shots, and we saw that in the final game. They were finally starting to put them away, getting the shots on target, testing the Fearless Alpha defense to a real degree. But still, Fearless Alpha, not many shots, not many goals, but the defense was able to hang on. But in other games when the defense weren't able to hang on, it was an absolute blowout in favour of Inferno. And what a series it was for the first streamed game back in RSC. A 2-2 result. We couldn't have asked for much more other than that.
Really couldn't. And what a final game it was. Inferno really setting their dominance. And as you said, Ignite Esports, they only build good sides. But guys, hope you've enjoyed that first series of Season 11 and first series of the evening. We will be back in just a moment for the second series. A lot more action ahead of us. Potter, thank you for joining me for this cast. It's a pleasure to be back on the cast with you as per usual. So guys, don't go anywhere because we'll be right back with some more of this RSC action. See you in just a second.
Yeah. Shorty loves it, yeah. Loves that I'm a goat. They don't want it, yeah. They scared of what I know. Told you the budget, yeah. I gotta get my own. Shout out my bros, this right here deserves a toast, yeah. A lot of people back home on my back and they know. Trying to get on my line, cause the people I know. Manifest this year, 7+ on the ropes. They ain't doing this shit, tripping over my flows. Yeah. I'm on the way, tell them I don't play. Yeah, I'm on the move, trying to get my pay. I might just move on and watch and pray. Yeah, I'm on the way, I'm on my way. Yeah. Manifest this year, 7+ on the ropes. They ain't doing this shit, tripping over my flows. Yeah. Shorty loves it, yeah. Loves that I'm a goat. Yeah. 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 Shorty loves it, yeah. Loves that I'm a goat. They don't want it, yeah. They scared of what I know. Told you the budget, yeah. I gotta get my own. Shout out my bros, this right here deserves a toast, yeah. A lot of people back home on my back and they know. Trying to get on my line, cause the people I know. Manifest this year, 7+ on the ropes. They ain't doing this shit, tripping over my flows. Yeah. I'm on the way, tell them I don't play. Yeah, I'm on the move, trying to get my pay. I might just move on and watch and pray. Yeah, I'm on the way, I'm on my way. Yeah. Manifest this year, 7+ on the ropes. They ain't doing this shit, tripping over my flows. Yeah. Shorty loves it, yeah. Loves that I'm a goat. Yeah.
Won't you say why you're a stranger now? Your eyes escape mine when I sit you down. Don't you feel like we're holding on onto a fairy tale, but the magic's gone? Been months of bluffing the blushes and faking the butterflies. Wake up, yeah, I'm kicking the castle down. Ooh, yeah, I think it's time to talk. Ooh, yeah, I think it's time to notice. We've been losing touch. Long gone fairy tale. Yeah, we killed the rush. Been months of acting a fiction and staging a baptize. Wake up, yeah, I'm kicking the castle down. Ooh, yeah, I think it's time to talk.
I wanna know who you really are, what you dream about at night. I wanna know who you really are, baby, come into the light. I wanna know you. I wanna know you. I wanna know you. you dream about at night. I wanna know who you really are. Baby, come into the light. I wanna know you.
I'm sorry.
I wanna know you. I'm the storm that meets the moon. I'm the sun that will not move. Do you think you are? Who do you think you
Hello and welcome back, everybody. It's your boy Hops once again, and I'm joined by Mr. Kingsman here for this second series of this evening. An exciting match, another fearless squad, this time against a bit of a newer roster to myself at least, a new organisation to myself at least in this next series. You'll have a couple of familiar faces though here playing up against each other, a couple of faces that definitely cause a lot of hype when you see them on the series, on the streams. Wolfie, Sato, probably two names that definitely come to mind. They're playing here. But Kingsman, welcome to the stream. Welcome. It's week 1 of season 11 league play. Excited to be here, and talk me through your feelings of the series ahead of us.
Always a pleasure to be back in the booth. And well, it's another season, another RSC, and what a game we have on our hands here. Fearless Bravo Profits. Fearless Bravo in power rankings have been predicted as champions for this season, and they're going up against a very strong Profits side, which retained 2 of the Bladesmiths roster from last season in Wolfie and Sato, obviously very familiar names, and along with, who could forget him, Keza himself coming down to play Elite this season. So this game has got absolutely high expectations for me, and I'll be honest, it'll probably be the best series of the week. I'm that excited and that got high hopes for it.
You know what? For the first time ever, I might actually agree with you here, Kingsman. This series is set to be one hell of a stellar battle. We did see a fantastic series, though, just moments ago in that Master Tier with the Phyllis Alpha taking on Ignite Esports, this Inferno roster, and it went 2-2. It was incredible. We've already seen a potential clip of the week coming out in that series. I'm curious to see whether we're going to have the same action again. You know what, with the players in this lobby, I would not be too surprised if we saw something ridiculous. But still, Fearless Bravo versus Profits, as you said, 2 of those members from that Bladesmiths roster who really had a bit of a spark, a bit of an energy whenever that roster played, Sato and Wolfie, and I'm expecting them to bring that same level of enthusiasm as electricity in this season as they did in the previous seasons. I'm curious to see how this matchup pans out. It could really go either which way, actually. But thinking about your gut, thinking about predictions, Kingsman, do you want to make your first prediction of Season 11 right here?
Yes, I'll go ahead. Being in Elite myself this season and knowing both of these teams to a decent extent, I am going to say Fearless Bravo take it either 3-1 as my first prediction for RSC11.
Very, very interesting. Well, I think it's going to be a 2-2.
Ooh.
I think
that would be fair.
I think these two teams, there's a lot of promise on both these sides. And I think there's a hell of a lot of a potential to have a bit of a crazy series with neither team really finding their footing overtly. I don't exactly know what the delay is going on here in the background. I'm going to have to find out in just a second. I'm probably waiting for B-Shake to message me as he has done so. The 2-minute warning he just gave me earlier on, but I don't exactly know what the delay here currently is.
Fearless not being in the lobby, I believe.
Fearless, yeah, that might.
There we go. There we go. There's 2 of them. 3.
There's 3 of them. It's
got a roster.
Time. They finally got a roster. But Phyllis are in. Profits are in. Let's get this game underway. We'll get the players into their respective teams and be able to get this match underway. So, a 2-2 prediction from my end. Kingsman, he's predicted a 3-1 in favour of Fearless Bravo. Let's see how well these Profit sides really come to the table. Game number 1 of the second series of the night is underway.
Yeah, and it's going to be a very equal kickoff at the start. Sato's going to take control, and Renko, good 50 in the midfield. Talk's going to get a bit of a misread there, but allows Keza to boom it downfield. Jack now gets a good clear downfield. Sato with a very interesting car here, I must say. Very colourful. I am liking the colours, but it is going to be Profits who see the first attack of the game cleared away by Jack. And, well, very good promise at the start for a Profits side, which obviously new franchise, completely new team, but it looks to be a very good start for them here.
Indeed, we have to be well in this Profits roster. A very mechanically and quick and speed inclined roster who will definitely be taking advantage of these aerial plays. If this Phyllis Brothers side are able to control the boost, they might well have an opportunity to take these series away from them. But it's all about boost management. I think between these two rosters, Cinema almost finding something picturesque, which we definitely paid to have popcorn with. But unfortunately, that is taken away from just that last second. Wolfie eventually find the clearance from his own corner, looking to go again. Wolfie and Sato, though, they've been a duo for what it feels like forever. Curious to see whether they're going to find any luck this season.
Yeah, it's got to be said, pretty much the iconic duo of Elite at this point. But here we go. Talk's now going to get a chance. He redirects it off the pass from Jack. And it's going to be Fearless who take first strike here. It's a good 50 from Talk. And Jack gets a perfect read back down to Talk. Nothing Keza can do in the net. And, well, Fearless Bravo strike first.
Yes, they do. And what a redirect it was. You say great setup, though, coming out from Cinema. Definitely exactly what they would need. The confidence will be flying high on this Fearless Bravo roster. Profits, though, looking a little less profitable. But again, another redirect for Talk. He seems to be in the right place at the right time every time. And again, it is Cinema linking up with Talk. Lovely little bit of a backflip happening there. And his name, as Zark says in the chat, Talk, GG's. You say it's a good game already, so it's still got 3.5 minutes left on the clock. But if these two players keep on connecting with each other, keep on linking up, Profits, they're in for a tough ride.
Yeah, I'm sure Wolfie and Sato, when they get linked, they'll say this is a warm-up game. As Talk now is going to beat Wolfie out, and it's going to leave the one defense. But that is a duo that isn't really iconic, that hasn't really been seen in Season 4. Maybe it could be one that forms this season and dominates Elite. JW Cinema and Talk. But who knows, and that's Wolfie getting a demo. Opens up some space here as Keza and Jack get a 50 in the midfield. And Renko does beat Sato here. I must say, very colourful car again on Sato. It just catches my eye every time, but it's going to be a shot on net by Talk. Another redirect from Jack, but it is actually going to be a save from him. They still do have possession here. And I must say, I said at the start, it looked to be Profits who had all the attack. And, well, hasn't that just changed on ahead? It looks to be all Fearless in the offensive half now.
It really does. Talk and Cinema have really done such a fantastic job of just dominating the Profits half right now. No answers whatsoever. Let's get Cinema looking to put things forward. Sato is going to be there. Wolfie Sato kind of getting underneath each other a little bit there. That's going to allow for Renko to turn sharply towards the challenge onto Wolfie. Still, ball lingering in the half. Double tap attempt from Cinema. Not able to find the back of the net, unfortunately, but it was a great attempt nonetheless. Cinema is going to take it away from Sato as he rotates back. And now we're going to have to see how this Fearless Bravo defense actually looks like. However, Profits still yet to break any margins. Can Keza do it here? Almost finds the flip reset. We're not really going to bear any fruit.
Yeah, not yet, but it's good to show some promise from this Profits side. They hadn't looked very much in the offensive half for this one. That's going to be a shot, though, from Cinema, but Wolfie looks very comfortable clearing that one, and Sato is going to get a clear out, but Keza, Jack is going to miss it. But he does go take control and give Talk the ball again. It's only game 1, and we're already talking about this duo so much as Jack bangs it downfield. Keza gets a good read off it, and Jack now is going to pin it back down middle. But, oh, and that's a whiz. As soon as I was about to compliment the defense, it's a miss from Wolfie, which puts them in a bit of pressure here, but Sato under absolutely no pressure. And finally, the ball is cleared out. We might see a Profits attack forming.
Might well be another whip coming out from Renko. Talk does such a good job of taking his time on the backboard there. He gives us an opportunity for the rotations to come in. Wolfie does get a demo onto Talk eventually, but the ball is skyrocketing back into his own corner. Talk again towards the centre, looking for a teammate. Does find Renko, who decides to just pop it up into the air. And there's another shot by Cinema, saved out by Sato at the last second there. Talk able to get back to the touch, however, does miss out Cinema momentarily. Wolfie trying to apply the pressure on. Central ball comes in. Keza can't find the read. Cinema might be able to get to it, and he does. That's the third goal for the side of Fearless Bravo. Right now, this Profits roster really having no answers.
Oh, they aren't, but it's been very well played from Fearless. They catch them on the counter-attack. And well, after 7 shots, Jack's finally going to find the net. And it's going to be the third goal, and maybe this what is the sealer on game number 1. But it's only game 1. This series has so much more to offer as Renko booms it downfield. He's been very quiet this game, but he does do it where it matters, getting the assist for that goal. As now Keza, taking some control in the offensive hub, is now going to clear, but Jack takes control again. Looks to get the ball middle. A fourth would be good. It would push the momentum on massively here. 6 seconds left. Sato, a bit of a double commit here for Profits. It's going to be almost 4 off the crossbar, 0 seconds. And Renko is going to give Jack his playmaker. And well, goal number 4 of what looks like a very Fearless heavy game.
Very much so. Fearless Bravo dominance across the board here. 0 goals conceded. I mean, it just shows the amount of presence and pressure they brought to the table, particularly against the roster of Wolfie, Keza, and Sato. And just across the board, a total of 14 shots that they took on Fearless Bravo. Yet 3 saves. That's all they made. 3 shots from Profits. It's not good enough if you are on the Profits roster. They've got to do better here. 3. I might well be wrong. I've misread the saves was there, a bit more than 3 saves. But still, regardless, the point of the fact of the matter is, Profits not doing good enough. They haven't brought their A game. They are not testing Fearless Bravo nearly close to what they should be here. Fearless Bravo, they're happy to take it. They're relaxed on defense, and they're just walking candidly up the field and taking every opportunity they seem to be presented with. Right now, Profits, they've got to switch something on. Maybe Sato needs to find a bit of a car change, because I would with the state of his fashion. But at the end of the day, there's no links. But talking about links, this Cinema and Taunton cut that we've been seeing, absolutely wonderful. The passing plays have been sublime on the side of Fearless Bravo, and I'm excited to see more. I think if Profits need to want to gain a win or get a win out of this away from this series, they have to start shutting that down.
Yeah, they do agree. They've got to put Fearless under some pressure. And it's exactly as you said. That A game has to be shown. Everyone knows the potential of Wolfie and Sato, and Keza, a very good link up. And we do see a clean card change. Oh my, a clean card change for Sato. And that could have been a very tragic start in just under 10 seconds. But it's going to be kept 0-0 for now. As Talk back to Jack. It's going to be a save for Keza. Looks pretty comfortable as well as Renko goes up and is beaten. Wolfie now in the Fennec as well. That's going to be a quick shot from Jack. And well. Profits not bringing their A game, certainly. As it's going to be missed from Wolfie. Talk off the backboard. And Jack perfectly angles that 101 kph. And it's going to be Fearless in 30 seconds, taking the goal number 1.
1-0, exactly. It's the worst thing to happen if you are a Profits fan. First ball continuing with their momentum in their hands. Sato trying to cut things out, but 2 demos coming out, and the physical play opening things up for the Profits. Finally landing themselves a goal in this series. Obviously didn't score in game number 1. Renko can see coming up one there. Cinema, he does a great job of getting up. However, it just was a little bit too late to the party. Finally, Profits get their name on the board here. Let's see if they can keep up the momentum. But it's a good change-up. They're wanting to play more physical. It's buying them more space and more time on the ball. And actually, right now, it's bought them a second goal as well.
Yeah, well, maybe all they needed was that confidence of goal number 1. And it's pushed Fearless, I think, out of their momentum. As Keza puts in his second. Wolfie doing the most, taking it round. He puts in their second goal, doubling taking the lead for the first time in this series. But now we're going to see how Fearless respond under pressure. Jack looks to beat Keza, but Keza so secure on that goal line. Renko looks to put his name out there, but it's only going to be a 50, and that's going to bounce mid straight to Keza, and it's going to be another defense for JW Cinema and Fearless here as he gets it out, and it's going to be a little less offensive, but oh, there you go.
What a finish, Cinema. What an angle to be found there. It looked like nothing was on. Talk plays to the corner, and Cinema just able to find the perfect angle. A little bit of an overextension coming out from, I think it was Keza on the defense there. Not what we want to be seeing whatsoever, but it does give them that equalizer and that goal that was well and truly needed. Back to the level playing field, and Talker is wanting to give themselves a lead. A great opportunity there, but Wolfie takes it away at the last second. Looking for a bit of a long shot coming in. Renko plays it patiently enough to make sure that doesn't go into the back of the net, but Wolfie immediately turns his attention to the demo, trying to keep the advantage on the favour of Profits.
Yeah, I mean, Profits, they finally got a lead, but Jack and Talk were too much for them. But it's all now about which team strikes next. Momentum is about equally shifted at the moment. It just depends which team can break through next. Talk looks to get to Renko. Renko does not have the boost clearly. Talk to Jack. Jack isn't going to reach it, but again, it's that link up again of Talk to JW Cinema, and Talk's going to find the back of the net. He doesn't need JW Cinema. He does it all himself. A bit of support for Renko. A good 50, and well, Fearless take the lead, and Wolfie just not being able to reach it. It was already in, I think, though. But 3-2, game and match, not match, sorry, but game advantage definitely to Fearless at this point.
Yeah, definitely, and so much good work from Profits undone. But maybe one simple bad rotation by Wolfie. Subsequently, right now, they had a grasp of this game. This Profits roster did. It was taken away by Fearless, and Renko doing double tap attempts like that. A great save, though, coming out from Keza, as Cinema almost able to follow it up to get a finish on that. However, right now, Fearless Bravo seeming to build up a bit more momentum. They figured out the second resorted game plan that Profits have gone to, and really are opening their offense up and are starting to breathe a sigh of compassion and control here. Right now, the Profits roster, again, having to change things up, having to do things differently. Sato goes to the air. Wolfie's going to follow it up, looking for the central ball. He's actually going to go himself, but Cinema reads it perfectly, leaves it for Talk. He's going to go to the air. You see Cinema just looking for a bump or two. Oh, what a save from Sato, pitched off the upright.
Well, talking about testing this Profits defense, they're definitely being tested, and they are succeeding for now. Cinema looks to get it off the backboard, isn't going to do so. Wolfie going to take control, beat one, but Jack gets the perfect turn onto it. There's now Keza. He's quite awkward here, but he's going to get the 50 with Renko. Talk's already up, looks to go again. Jack's waiting middle. The passing is there. As we've said, this link up is remarkable, and it might be the duo that does Fearless good this game. They're doing absolutely wonders for them, but Jack, oh, what control. Well, my hat is off. Yeah.
Catch like that. It's just going to break axles left, right, and centre. Keza trying to read a predicted bounce. Not going to be really successful at it. It's hit. The catch was absolutely spot on for Cinema, and subsequently it's going to lead in that fourth goal. It's now a 2-goal deficit that Profits find themselves in. Is far from advantageous, but Sato could doing Sato things. It's going to be read like a book. As Renko was waiting on that goal line. Eventually the clearance does come in, and it just feels like after Profits' initial outburst of energy at the beginning of the second game, they just ran out of steam. Subsequently, Fearless Bravo just took full control of it and allowed themselves that 2-goal lead. 45 seconds and ticking, still very doable. But with whiffs like that from Keza, it doesn't seem to be overtly promising.
No, it doesn't, and that's another double tap attempt from Fearless here. They're bringing all the shots out as Sato gets an open net. Does he score it? Yes, he does. He just beats JW Cinema. And when we were talking Profits down, looking like they deflated, the inflation might be there in the name of Sato. He scores it, gets it past the defender, and well, 4-3, 26 seconds. We've seen comebacks against Fearless done in less, but it's 1 goal, 26 seconds in. It's a very good kickoff. Goes straight to Wolfie. We've seen him in the air. He can do bits, but he's going to run out of boost. Keza with the redirect, but Jack is going to be perfectly positioned there as a bit of a double commit from Fearless now. There's no need for them to be panicking and making decisions like that. But now ball goes up. Keza looks to get it middle, but Fearless very concrete in the defense here.
Yeah, but Sato has an opportunity, fires one off, and that's going to be killed out. Right, there we have it. Fearless Bravo, they've taken 2 games of this best of 4 series already. They're pretty much, as you'd say, on match point if it was a best of 5. Right now, Profits. Yes, you know, I hate to be bearer of bad news, but that 3rd goal, I feel like that was luck. That was a midfield challenge that you got beneficial and came out on top of here. And they landed themselves in the back of the net. I think those first 2 goals, though, it definitely was earned by Profits. They looked good. They looked in control. But Fearless Bravo, they figured out an answer. They knew how to come back. And again, if you glance over the stats there, 10 shots for Fearless Bravo. Profits, they didn't even come close. And that, for me, is still the concern. Fearless Bravo, they're in control of the momentum of the game. They control the pitch possession and field possession and field control. And right now, Profits, all the goals they're getting are from those breakaways. From the moments they get a glimpse of opportunity, they seem to just scarper. They panic and they find themselves an opening instead of controlling them openings themselves and finding the opportunities themselves. Fearless Bravo, I have to say it. If they iron out all the kinks that they've been having in their areas of defense and overzealousness, it wouldn't surprise me if they kept a clean sheet once again. But we are going into game number 3, and I'm looking for Profits to prove me wrong.
Yeah, and we're seeing Wolfie and Indominus now. I don't get the card change every game. Bit of a placebo. But oh well, when if Profits are going to fulfill Hop's prediction, they need to win both of these now. They had got a 3-1 against Tigris earlier on in the week. They are going to want to continue on good form, but they have already been beaten twice. And Fearless Bravo looking for a very strong start against one of the top predicted teams in this season. And Wolfie looks to make it 1, beats Talk. Sato's there, Cinemas gets the deflection, Renko's up, but Keza's going to beat him, and the lack of boost on defense causes critical, and once again, sorry, I also said visionary. Profits take the first goal.
They do, and it's definitely the opener that you would want, but quite reminiscent of what we saw in that game number 2 as well. Profits took the lead early on. Fearless Bravo able to bounce back. Obviously took that game 4-2. It's all about that composure. Do Profits have it in their book? They've yet to show it, but a lot of game time left ahead of us. Will they be able to maintain it? It's a great full pass and a great shot. Maybe, just maybe, they found something. They've heard us talking on the caster desk. It's a great infield pass from Wolfie to Sato there, and obviously those two have a huge amount of chemistry. I'm looking forward to seeing whether they're going to keep that momentum in their favour. We've just gone just under a minute of game time played, and already 2 goals in favour of Profits. Renko trying to find one of his own off the kickoff, but this is where Fearless Bravo are dangerous. Sato able to cut it out nice and early. Wolfie on that Dominus. Maybe the card change was working. Maybe that has done it for him because he's looking like a different player.
Yeah, he is. He's looking like he's taking control of this game and going for clips all over the scene. But that's going to be a bit of a misfield from Renko. But luckily for him, there are no visionary Profits. Oh my god. I keep saying the franchise name. Profits attackers there to punish. But now we're going to see Keza look to push a Profits attack again. And that's a very good boom ball. But Sato is going to beat Renko. And Wolfie is going to help Sato. And Sato with a sensational save from Talk. This Profits team is looking reborn. Wolfie and the Dominus has clearly brought out the best in them. As Sato bangs it a long way. Keza's going to get a good 50. Talk. We haven't really seen much of Talk and Cinema this game. They're going to look to show it as Cinema. 50 with, I think that was Wolfie. That probably was, as Renko looks to clear it alongside. But if we were looking for a much stronger Profits team, here we are, and that could be goal number 3. But Hop, Profits are putting on a show.
They really, really are, and it's definitely been something that has been a recurring thing over previous seasons with the likes of Sato and Wolfie. This is that when they play for clips, they play better than when they're playing seriously. And right now, they're definitely looking a bit more relaxed on this field. And subsequently, look at this landing to land them. The 3-0 lead just on the cusp of half time at the halfway marker of this game number 3. And this Profits roster definitely looking far more in control than they were previously. The Dominus diff having a huge effect on Wolfie right now. See if they can keep that momentum going forwards. They've scored more goals this game than they have the entire rest of the series, game 1 and 2. It's definitely a good sign for them going forwards. However, could be a fourth. I wouldn't count out First Brother just as of yet, though, in this game. We've seen how quickly they flipped the script in that game number 2 and how they were able to come back from a deficit similar to this. We'll have to see whether they're going to be able to do it again, especially if Cinema and Talk start catching fire. But Wolfie, he bites my head off completely as he adds the 4th goal in. Insult to injury, really. It's right there. I think we saw Fearless Brothers slightly overextending. You saw Renko, his last player back, caught around that midfield line. Very high press from him, as I think they're starting to get a little bit desperate for a goal.
Yeah, and I mean, they do need it. And one thing I think is this Fearless team massively feeds off of momentum. If they can get a goal or two, and as you say, they can flip a game on its head. But for now, the momentum is in favour of Profits massively. As Renko, good 50s. Jack gets a shot by Wolfie. He's going to be there, excuse me, and he is going to keep out. The Dominus really could be being the difference here as Jack gets a miss. Sato looks for a shot. It's going to be a bit high, but Jack is going to secure the clear as he looks to push his Fearless team towards a goal, but the time is ticking down, and at some point it gets too late for a comeback. And when is that point that Fearless have to think, right, let's just get a goal, let's get momentum back, let's get going? And it's not going to be there as Talk does go past the ball.
He does, but I think actually he also got bumped at the same time there.
I missed it.
There's a great defensive bump coming out from one of the players on Profits, but starting to think outside the box, starting to see the game exactly how you need to be seeing it, and they're playing full advantage. The Profits are right now. And with a minute left on the clock, does not look very promising. If you are a Fearless Bravo fan, you're not saying it's impossible, but it's close to it. Especially with the way the Profits have woken themselves up. A great shot attempt coming out from Cinema. Renko might be able to float one in, but again, Sato is a brilliant defensive touch just to take it away. And Wolfie is so quick to the follow-up ball, subsequently able to keep any sort of attack from going in. And again, the speed at which Wolfie loves to play at and the way that he's best at, which allows him to fly around this, cause so much disruption on the Fearless Brother roster. This game 3, it's over. It's going to be a 2-1. Have Profits, have they got enough left in the tank to go forward in this game number 4? I think so, with the way that they're playing. But I think Fearless Bravo may have something to say about it going into this next game.
Yeah, I think they just need to take the next game as a blank sheet and go from there. Because Profits, well, they have absolutely come showing their A game this time, and the ball is going to drop. And it's going to be a 4-0 win. Not the first game, sorry. It's another 4-0. We saw 4-0 to Fearless in game 1. And we see a 4-0 to Profits in game... And I must say, if Profits have ever dominated, that would show it. We said Fearless dominated game 1. Well, they've done it in game 3. We might see the super sub for Fearless Buddha. He's convinced me he wants to be casted by me this season. Maybe this is his chance. Shake things up a bit. But who knows? And it's, I must say, Hop, completely different Profit team from what it looks like. And, well, a completely different result.
Indeed it is. I still think Fearless Brother have the potential to take this series, even with Profits playing like the way they were in that game number 3. As you said, I think a slight complacency and lack of confidence in oneself came out in that game number 3 for the Fearless Brothers side. But again, Profits, Wolfie had a stellar game. 4 shots, 3 saves, assist to his name as well. Just flying around that Dominus with so much confidence. And as I said, it really disrupted Fearless Bravo to no end. Bring on Buddha. No offense to him. I would at this stage. To be honest with you, Renko, Cinema, and Talk, they really proved themselves of how well they played in games 1 and 2. I don't know. We're going to have to see how it goes. But nonetheless, we are into game number 4. Let's see if the Prophet's able to tie it up to a piece or whether it's going to be Phil's brother closing out with a W.
Well, one thing I'm going to point out immediately is Jack has clearly seen the Dominus effect of Wolfie, and he's gone to the Dominus himself. So we're going to see a Wolfie versus Jack in the Dominus as Keza looks for a double, but Talk going to clear it up. Talk very silent in game number 3, and it's going to be, he is going to need to make an impact. Him and Jack did so well games 1 and 2 to bring that momentum as Sato looks for a quick shot, but Renko will be on the goal line as Wolfie gets physical again and gets a demo. Talk picks it up, flicks one. Cinema is the Dominus 50. There's going to be a Renko 50 onto Wolfie as well. And I must say, I think this is one of the first games where we've seen it goalless going into the first minute, and it's game 4. Both teams know each other. Both teams want this. It's either a draw for Profits or a win for Fearless. Both teams are craving that good start to the season.
They really, really are right now. Fearless, I think, starting to find the answers, starting to be a bit more confident in their midfield challenges over this Profits roster. Wolfie almost finding a finish there, and I think he might have almost accidentally saved Sato's attempt. It's a great flick coming out from Talk as well. Looking to go again, just plays it off the backboard, almost finds Cinema, however, does not place it on target, just flies it off the backboard. Once again, the clearance is eventually going to come in. Talk there for the catch into his own corner, tries to fake out one of the players, but leaves the ball wide open for Keza to keep the attack from flowing. Doesn't like Talk was looking for a bit of a bump. Renko with a beautiful flick towards the opposite back bar. Talk going again, plays towards the back bar once more. Renko following up with a shot. It's low, off the post and in. And that is exactly what you want to be seeing. Renko finds the goal needed, and it really was just a pure dismantle of the Profits defense. Relentless passing towards the backboard, forcing the players out of position, and eventually they were to falter. It's a 1-goal lead in favor of Fearless Bravo with 3 minutes left on the clock. Profits, what are you doing? Wakey wakey.
It is wake up time indeed. We're almost halfway through, but it is a beautifully placed shot from Renko as he looks at, and that's another redirect from Talk. It might just be in. No, it takes a very fortunate bounce for Profits here, gives them time to collect boosts, collect as a team, and push forward, but Talk doesn't want them to push forward as he gets a quick shot, and it's going to be saved by Sato. But as I said, Fearless are a team that feed off momentum from what I have seen, so that goal would have done them the world of good. But Wolfie versus Renko, and Wolfie is going to beat Renko.
What a touch from Wolfie. Really, really important. The bump from Sato was also equally as pivotal, but Renko, just that extra margin of size that Dominus brings, the extra length that it brings, allowed him to get that touch over the Octane of Renko. However, JW almost gets one in off the kickoff. Sato wise enough to it to keep that ball away. You can tell his experience came into favor there. Again, Cinema trying to keep that pressure forward. Keza gets a beautiful read on Renko's touch as well. Subsequently, it doesn't look like Fearless Brother are going to be on the back foot just momentarily, particularly with that demo come out, but Talk, he has a need to say about it. Twists the dials in the correct fashion and sends it right into the opposite corner. Cinema does get demo for his efforts. A bit of a passing play coming out. Keza trying to fake something out there. Talk able to get the nose of his car down and nudges it away.
Yeah, and it's very, very equally matched here. Both teams giving it their all, and that's going to be Jack straight to Talk over 1. Wolfie left on his own here. This is going to be, I think, a Keza diving in. Sato does claim the ball in the madness though as Renko gets the 50. Fearless wanting to keep the pressure now. Talk backflips. He's not what he would have wanted as Profits look to bring it over. Cinema gets a 50 here. Talk beats one all the way along. Wolfie with a bit of an awkward touch as Talk just gets 50 by Sato, and it's Cinema versus Sato, and it's a good 50 as Wolfie collects it on their side as we're seeing an all-out fight. I love this. Both teams giving it their all. Tied game, and as soon as I say that, it's but it is saved by Wolfie, never mind. But Hop, this is absolutely lovely, especially in week 1 of the new season.
Beautiful to see these two teams battling out and they're being so close. There's any taste of what is to come for the rest of season 11. I am overjoyed. But both teams right now, both defenses are good, but really neither of them controlling the pace of the game. A great save coming out from Talk. As Wolfie's shot really was looming there. Another Talk Cinema potential link up. The ball just falling a bit too far away from Cinema to be able to reach that. Keza looking to formulate some sort of counter-attack. Cinema's just going to send one long. Wolfie's going to be there, able to send it to his own backboard. As Kez's clearance is going to bear something of a resemblance of a clearance, but straight to Talk. He gets that flick over one, looking to find the read and unable to do so. Wolfie trying to find something, challenged out by Cinema nice and early. Cinema unable to stay with the ball, and it does look like we're going to have an overtime unless we see something ridiculous coming out from Talk. The shot is on, but Sato is there to keep it away. Wolfie decides to just keep the ball up. Brave decision from him, but eventually he is killed by Renko in his own corner.
Yeah, Renko, I think, taking a bit of a smarter decision there. He knew the ball was in his corner, low boost. He thought, let's just drop this, refresh the plates. Let's not see what Profits can do on attack. As I think we've just seen Jack go sailing in against Sato. That ball's gone middle, but it's going to be Renko now, who gets the shot off the crossbar. Cinema with the shot off the post. Talk now, all of them giving it a go, but none of them able to find past the Profits. And well, Renko saves them really from a bit of a counter-attack there as now Wolfie booms it long. Talk low boost, very awkward. Pre-flip, double commit. This is Profit's chance and they're going to take it. Wolfie does it all and Keza finishes it off. It is a 2-2. Hopper's got it right and it's going to be a 2-1 in game number 4.
Finishes well. It did feel like as soon as that overtime hit, or really as soon as the final 10 seconds hit, is that Profits really started to grind their gears, started to go up a couple of notches, and the momentum started to fall in their path, and subsequently they took that game 4 and tied the series up to a piece. And some great action across the board here. And really, you have to give props to Wolfie at the end there. That Dominus card change really changed the whole dynamic of what Profits were doing. And I think it gave him the confidence to fly around and be as free-willing as he likes to be on the Rocket League field. And subsequently, Keza and Sato, they just had to fill the spaces around him. What a great job from both these teams. But two titans of this tier already looking incredibly close.
Yeah, if those two aren't towards the top by the end of the season, then I'll be stunned because they gave us a brilliant series. And I must say, Sato at the end had 6 saves in the end of that. And well, he did his bit, Keza did his bit, and I mean, the first 2 games were all fearless. Everything, and well, what a display. And this is what is to come this season, everyone. This is the level that you can expect this season. Both teams were willing to go for it this series, willing to take the win. And well, Hop, I think, was that your first prediction correct of this season? Because if so, it's a very good one.
It was. I was a bit far off the mark in the previous series. However, this one, I was spot on the money. But Kingsman, it's a pleasure to have you here. Hope you've enjoyed your first cast of the RSC season 11 even. It's been a pleasure as always, but that's the second series on stream of season 11. We've still got one more to go this evening, so guys, do not go anywhere. So a lot more actions left to play. We'll see you guys right back here in just a second. See you in a moment.
Best to give me your loyalty, 'cause I'm taking the world, you'll see. They'll be calling me. They'll be calling me royalty. Best to give me your loyalty, 'cause I'm taking the world, you'll see. They'll be calling me. They'll be calling me royalty.
Music had no future, and dark forces controlled our destiny. Only one man could save the day. It's time to come over to the dark side.
Call me up when you're sober, when you've showered and changed. You give it up like it's over, but never give it away. And I don't wanna fall for you this time. I can't find the truth in all the lies. If I could, I would, believe me. If I could, I wouldn't need you. I don't wanna fall for you this time. This time. Call me up when you're sober, when you've showered and changed. You give it up like it's over, but never give it away. And I don't wanna fall for you this time. I can't find the truth I could, I would. Believe me, if I could, I would. Need you, I don't wanna fall for you this time.
kicking off the season and in style. Two rosters, two teams, two franchises, and a lot of players as well. Very well known, of course. I'm sure they'll be throwing some shade between each other. They want to be getting on the board, get those first wins, making sure you can just steam ahead of your opponents in the division. It's going to be difficult. Of course, you don't really know what all these rosters hold. I think there's some favorites there, but it's definitely going to be a close one here.
Far as I can tell, this is the first game to be played in the Glaciers Conference of Rival this season. It's going to be Onka versus Serene Mehi. Lining up for Serene Mehi, it's going to be Louis, Jean-Lau Bob, and Mux. And for the Onka side, it's going to be Fancy, Liam Nicholas, and DP76. So it seems like both teams are using their lower value CMV player for this match.
Yeah, I mean, it's maybe one of those things, just trying to gauge it. You don't want to necessarily gamble early on in the season and then lose out because of that. So instead, taking that risk, maybe they've just got like that confidence. You know, they're looking at their opponent, whether it's looking at Serena or Onka, and thinking, no, we can take these guys, and that they'll put forward that weaker player with that confidence, and that confidence should lead to some aggressive games, some high-scoring matchups, and, you know, enjoyable Rocket League all round.
Exactly that. But I believe we are ready to get into this game. Can I push you for a score prediction before we do go ahead and get started with game number one?
I think it is difficult, you know, because they are using their lower rated players. I'm going to say 2-2. I know it's really boring. I'll go 3-1 to Onka just to give it something, give an actual winner. I think 2-2 is a bit too boring. 3-1 Onka, but Serene, they're definitely here to fight, and they are a strong roster.
Exactly that. All Gems have lined these teams up to be as strong as possible. Hopefully, they have found themselves the strongest 4 players from their draft picks. Personally, though, I did just scrim this Serene roster, and I'm going to slightly weigh in favour of an Onka 4-0.
Oh, fair enough. I mean, yeah, you mentioned that in the green room, and you were throwing a bit of shade around. Do you want to actually explain to the viewers why you're so against Serene being able to take anything here?
I think we can let the Rocket League speak for themselves. Also, yes, we do get started in game 1, 20 seconds in. We've already seen a triple commit in defense for the blue side as the pressure from Onka still keeps on coming through. Serene need to clear their lines here. They've had 30 seconds of being constant on the back foot. No shot coming through for either team as Mux pops this one into the air. Fancy to deny it. It's the first real opportunity to transition coming out for the blue side, and still it's been full straight back on them. Ball's going to drop down from DP. Mux there to clear away. Back to Jean-Lau Bob. First goal in this series is going to be absolutely crucial for whatever team gets it. Jean-Lau Bob looking to be the man to get said first goal, but still nothing breaking these sides up after a minute of game.
Yeah, it's been end-to-end Rocket League so far. Only a minute gone and no real breakthrough. Definitely the shots and the pressure in favour of Serene. They've put this more into this orange half. No real breakaways, no real ability to push past that halfway mark for Onka. They're trying again now in DP76 with a decent clear, but once more the follow-up won't be there. Liam Nicholas off to the side. There's a teammate. There's a shot that might be, but no, Jean-Lau Bob easily enough saved away. And again, the counter might be here. There's going to be a player streaking back, and we Mux with the miss. Actually, that may spell disaster as Liam Nicholas forces upfield, but Louis, a nice clear, and maybe actually getting on the end of this. No, Fancy keeps it in the opponent's half, wants to strike first. His opening goal will be phenomenal for whichever team can get it. That's one miss, maybe a second. That is the second miss. Now Liam Nicholas looking for a teammate, looking for anything, looking just for that opening strike.
I think it's going to be a case for either team, really. Whenever the first goal does eventually land its way into the back of the net, then the floodgates are really going to start to open. We're going to see goals galore. Nitch with the first shot onto the backboard. Louis going to miss this one out. It's a shot for DP. It's pandemonium on the goal line. It's an exact replica of what I have just been seeing 40 minutes straight in Rocket League, but 2 minutes in, and it's the first goal going in favour of Onka.
And yeah, we were sort of expecting them to be maybe a bit more dangerous out the gate. Serene had a couple chances, 2 shots for them starting off, but then those 3 shots from Onka, and one of them converted. That's good enough for them to take the lead. And I think you saw a bit more here in this rival part of RSC. You maybe wouldn't see at the higher tiers. There was a bit of panic and a bit of just fluffing their lines, going for, you know, some saves, and whether it was just getting the double jump instead of the flip, or not quite the pace and boost consumption to get to the ball. It led to, yes, again, you're going to see their rotations not quite going to be what they're looking for Mux, and Fancy can get a shot all the way from downfield. It's not necessarily meant to be a dangerous shot, but no one's there, and, well, DP76 watches that one goes in, and a 2-0 lead for Onka.
Well, this could be apart to rosters maybe trying to still get used to each other, obviously being drafted in. This is the first league game in the conference. Third goal off the crossbar from DP, not going to find its way into the net. Well, it also could be a case of Serene's top player, Local, apparently heading to sleep 30 minutes before they were supposed to scrim, Morton.
I can really see you didn't want to necessarily give away too many details as to why you thought Serene weren't playing well on the scrim, but you're letting it loose here, and well, Fancy and the rest of Onka, they'll be letting it loose too, now up to a 3-0 lead, and it's only been really a minute or so since their first goal, so piling them on quickly. Fancy with the brace as well, but they're like 7 shots to 2 in favour of Onka. Serene, they're scrambling for something, and whether they can fight back in this game or the series, they're going to need to change something about their playstyle because they're being restricted phenomenally by Onka.
My words not being proven wrong. Serene need to step up to the plate and try and prove me wrong, because currently I'm spitting straight facts. They've got 2 minutes to find 3 goals and try and send this one to overtime. They have had 2 shots on goal, whereas Onka have had 3 goals just from that. Again, a mishap in rotation. These big bangs forward from Nitch, from Fancy, from DP76 keep catching the defense of the blue side out, and it needs to get fixed up should they want a chance in this series.
I don't entirely know where Louis was in terms of boost and the actual position of the turnaround. Maybe if the reaction times were slightly faster or the rotation weren't pushed too far forward, could have got back to that. In that scenario, wasn't able to, and instead just turned it in. But you assume that in scenarios like that, when you're so close, there's going to be some way, if you turn just slightly more optimally, then you could have saved that away. And well, a 4-0 loss, maybe more, in this first game if we see Onka keep piling these goals together as well. Nitch, that will be another, that's going to be the 2nd and 5th for the roster. They'll be feeling more than happy with this scoreline. The team of Onka, well, they got 3 shots each, so they're really able to just add to the injury they've already caused. And Serene, they've shown no sign of being dangerous to their opponents whatsoever, aside from the first sort of 35 seconds of the game.
Not much really to add to that is that they haven't been great. They're losing 5-0, and it could be 6 if Fancy slots this one home. It's not going to be 6 just yet. Nitch popping this one. DP is going to be there, but Louis does get the clear away. Potential transition, potential goal to be found for the Serene players. It's a great pop down from Louis, skied away by Jan Lalbon.
You assume that was going to be put in. That has to be put in realistically, although there's still time left on the clock. You don't want to be letting something like that go again, and that might just be another miss that will. And oh no, I don't know how as a team you've really gone back from that mentally. I think this game is gone already, and they'll be aware of that, but more now they've had a couple of sitters, and well, those have been comfortably missed. Again, that's not going to be put quite on target, that it's saved away by DP. There's a few chances here, and if those were just put more towards centre of the goal rather than aiming for these upper corners or missing towards these upper corners, then the scoreline might be looking a bit different, and the confidence wouldn't be necessarily as heavily in favour of Onka.
Finally, a shot
Oh
could
my
come
goodness!
through.
Oh my goodness!
No.
What's happened there?
It's not meant to be. It's not happening today. It's not their series. It's not their game. You can't say it's dream nerves. You can't say it's under expectation. You can't say it's a sub roster. It's just not going their way today, is it?
Look, and oh, actually, this could be a 6 if they play it. Well, no, DP forced away by Louis, and that's one of the few times they've really had something. Actually, this will be in, and that will be a very nice goal. Yeah, like you were saying, you know, it seemed like they just weren't able to string anything together, and well, this is more than strung together. We'll just see Marks on the receiving end puts that in. That's a difficult angle to actually get some sort of power off, and again, maybe not necessarily the best shot you can get, but it's powerful enough, and it finds the corner. It's well away from the defender, and it's 1 goal back on the board. This game is over. It will be 1-0 in the series in favour of Onka, but Serene, well, they've shown that they've got something, and that something may actually be facing a Brazil if we see a nifty goal here from Onka. I'm hoping for that, purely for the memes, but, well, Serene, ways to go, definitely.
So, ever since they conceded the 5th goal, which saw them go down 5-0, it has only been a 1-1 game. So looking at it from that perspective, and especially the good play coming out to get their only goal, as long as they string together more plays and they try and outplay the defense of Onka more, they've got a chance in the series. It's just, it's first game, they're trying to feel each other out, trying to get a grip as to how each other play. But again, it's not really the showing they would have wanted. Potentially the worst we could have seen them come out in this game number 1, but at least they can only go up from this point onwards.
Look, one thing that I found ridiculous was there were a fair few chances, you know, towards that end before Serene actually managed to get their first goal. I think probably 3 or 4, that were not open nets necessarily, but almost certain goals. You know, you assume that 90% of times they'd be put in, and then it was that 10%, and then another 10%, and they were just all strung together. There was only 2 shot difference in this entire game. There were 12 shots for Onka and 10 for Serene. I don't know what's gone wrong there. It's just the shooting accuracy and the inability to convert. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it definitely impacted the scoreline. I think Onka were on it, 50% across the board for the team, and that's a great stat line. But Serene just unable to really put anything home, and that is really going to hurt their chances and their confidence. Again, it's a series where you don't have to worry about a reverse sweep, or you can get swept, but the reverse sweep, having to fight back, is difficult enough. It's just about keeping in the series and not letting it run away, not giving up, after the second game.
12 shots for Onka, 10 for Serene. 6 of them out of the 10. No, 6 of them out of the 12. Half the shots got put away by Onka. We need this blue side to step up, stop hitting the crossbar, stop hitting the post, and put the ball in the back of the net if you want to come back in the series. But 2 players go off the backboard. Doesn't seem like the defensive trust has been sorted out in the first 10 seconds for Serene.
Of course, they want to strike early. I don't really think they need the first goal. I'd more wagered that they need the first 2 just to make sure they can stay relevant in this series. They can prove to not only the opponents, but to themselves that they have that ability. And, well, it's an opportunity maybe just to force something upfield from Onka instead. No. Mux and the rest of Serene, they want to force it downfield. Jean has the opportunity, and that's kept away by Fancy. It's an easy enough save, but again, just getting that first shot on net and hopefully stringing together a few more with Louis forcing this again just into the box, trying to create some sort of pressure. That won't be, and this may be actually DP. I think this Mux has to be careful, and Mux will be more than careful, making sure not to turn that one into his own net. Faces it away and makes sure that this game stays scoreless.
I'm not sure how it hasn't gone. I don't know why Mux has gone up for the right-hand mid-boost, but for some reason they can count their lucky stars that they haven't gone 1-0 down in this game. And I think as well, for the most part, in terms of credit for this Serene roster, their offense has looked really good. It's just their defense which has been letting them down. As soon as they get this defense fixed up and they stop the triple commits, stop the overextensions, the missed rotations, they'll be fine in getting goals and trying to hang on to a lead. They just need to get this first goal, break the deadlock, and don't do that.
Yeah, the double commits, they haven't been, a massive part of Team Serene's gameplay so far, but if you have them every now and again, Onka, they're a good enough roster. We saw them, winning without the double commits from Serene in the first game. If you're doing that more and more in this and the rest of the series, they'll capitalize, they'll find those gaps, and they will exploit them. Goals galore, I'm sure. Nothing so far, actually, as we approach the 3rd minute of this game. It's surprising somehow, actually, that not only have Serene managed to actually
Yeah, no, stop talking there. I don't know.
Run that back. Okay.
Yeah, no, we're running it back. We've got to replay on screen.
Okay, well, Serene, they'll wanna pretend that it's a 0-0 game because that hasn't quite gone down for them. Onka, they haven't even forced anything through, and Serene, I was gonna say they hadn't made any mistakes so far. That is about as bad of a mistake as you can make. Turned in your own net. And, well, Onka, they'll go up by 1 in this game, but I'm sure Serene, they haven't been playing too badly. There's still opportunities, there's still stuff they can do. I'm sure they'll be able to put 1 through in this game. That might be the chance. Oh, it will be. That's slotted directly between the 2 defenders, finding the gap and threading the needle. Oh my goodness, Max.
Yeah, they've been the better side, I would say, here in this game too. Onka have only had the 1 shot, and the goal scorer didn't take that shot. It's a weird one to call, a weird one to try and analyse, because Serene have been the better side. But again, you don't know where it's going to go from here, because when you've got moments like that, which can be pulled out of the arsenal at any point, own goals or then sharp shooting moments from Mux, it's a really tough one to call, and we can only see how it plays out from this point onwards.
You assume, though, that we'll still see more fight back from Onka, as much as they were put down with that. It's a tied game, and they've played great when ahead. They've managed to find ways to push ahead when they've had, pressure put on them, whether it's goals or shots. And again, the clearance out, that attempt at a pre-jump would have been beautiful. No, actually, this is a miss, and Fancy, you assume, you hope. There you go. Easy enough, overcommitting, trying to go for a pre-jump that isn't there, and then being a bit too ambitious with that as well, put into your own back corner. Well, a player as good as Fancy and a team as good as Onka, they'll bide their time, and they've got a 2-on-0 in front of the open net. That's put in.
Fancy, been around the RSC scene since Season 6. Experience in this league flowing through the veins. He knows when to pop up with a goal, knows how to create a highlight moment. But Janlad Bob wants one of his own, gets one of his own, strikes it into a similarly open net of Onka and ties up game 2.
It's actually pretty good, you see. He finds the gap, and as much as it's a decent shot, you know, there was a bounce, but it was down the middle. It wasn't too wayward. There's no one back from Onka, and I'm not sure why or how. I think it was just, you know, players going for boost and one more rushing upfield, hoping for the pass from a teammate that just wasn't in the correct position. So again, you say the Serene seem like the stronger team. They had an opportunity there, and as long as Serene don't make mistakes, they're the ones that are forcing pressure onto Onka. And oh my goodness, what a top corner shot. It wasn't put in, but it was very nearly. That would have been phenomenal. That would have been the highlight play of the series so far at the very least, and that's going to be fancy actually. That's going to be fancy with the brace, if anything, and put home. Well, with 3 shots, 2 of them put in, an assist for the other goal, and 3 saves. Fancy doing absolutely everything in this game for Onka, making sure again to put them ahead just by 1.
Shot from Fancy to start us off, but I believe Janlad Bob saw an egg in the crowd and wanted to go and spark it for some reason, because he went flying straight off the crossbar, straight past the ball, and was heading straight for the right hand sideboard, trying to get out into the audience to hit said egg. But it is a 3-2 lead for Onka, once again regaining the lead. Serene need to try and take a lead in this game should they want to win it. No we coming out in this game yet, and hopefully it stays that way. Nitch pushing this one downfield. Fancy will be there to touch it past Mux, trying to get it infield. This one, Janlad Bob is able to read. Mux there to clear it away. They've got a chance to break, a chance to transition. They've got a minute left to find a goal and send us in overtime. Do you think they'll be able to do it all?
I think it's a tough ask, but Team Serene, if they can do it, I think I'll be confident for them, for their ability to press forward. I don't think they can actually. I think Onka maybe will be able to press forward and get a 4th instead. When it's put through into the Onka half, you saw not on this play, but just the previous. Oh my goodness! You've seen they've taken their time, they've worked it out, and if anything, I think Team Serene, even before the minute mark, they were getting a bit too antsy. They wanted to force the ball forward and then force the pressure onto that ball carrier, and again that's tipped to the side. Mux doesn't quite get the touch he's looking for. Fancy completely missed it though, and maybe Louis actually gives his teammate a chance. No, Mux again is going to miss, just off kilter with the attempt, and the clock's ticking down. Oh my goodness, somehow that's not put in. Louis again, only just off center. Liam Nicholas has to stay with this, has to try and keep pressure on to a teammate. Fancy wants to be there but can't, and there's only 10 seconds left. This game all but over unless we see a great goal on this counter attack. So
it's going to have to come through should they want a chance at winning this series. It's popped up, Mux is there, going to try and force it. Centre flies straight past the ball. Onka win game 2.
And I think Mux went for the ball maybe 4 times in that last sort of 30-40 seconds, went for the ball 4 times and missed it every time, pretty much. I believe. Maybe he hit it once, but whether it was completely missing the ball going for an aerial, or just, you know, with a lower aerial, and yeah, off center, couldn't get the touch, and it made it either harder for his team or easier for the opponents just to put it away or slam it downfield or alleviate that pressure. And when you're in that, you know, that last 40 seconds, every single time you boot the ball on the other side of the field, that's 8-10 seconds that you can just ease pressure off, work back, get your boost, and retain your rotations to a position that you are going to be much more comfortable with them, which means that those sort of counterattacks they're pushing for at the end, where they are just throwing everything at it, you get past the first defender, it's still going to be difficult. You've got 2 more there. They've got boost. They know exactly what they're doing. And yeah, Serene, they had the idea there. They did seem pretty competent, actually, for most of it. And they had more shots as well. I think they had, 4 more shots in that game, which is, again, it's surprising, but they can't put anything through. Instead, when Onka play, they want to play like, it reminds me of like a Season X Envy. You know, they play very much at the back. They play very defensive. And then when they push forward, there's only really 1 or 2 defenders there. They can work that counter-attack. They can work it expertly to a position where, yeah, almost anytime they get into your half, into your third, they're going to put some shots on that seem really dangerous, and they put you in a tough position.
Exactly that. I mean, I know Mux and Louis rather well on the Serene roster, and I've came into the series disrespecting them quite a bit, but since we have stepped foot on the field, they haven't put anything past or into the Onka net to say, hey, you shouldn't be disrespecting us, we're here to play the game. They've lost at both games. They haven't played great, but Janlad Bob gives them hope of trying to come back and force a draw in game number 3.
Yeah, they can only fight for a draw at this point, and it's something that's really tough to ask for, you know, looking at your teammates or at your players if you're a GM and saying, look, guys, just go for the draw. You never want to do that, especially in the first game of the season, or the first series, I guess, of the season. Oh, what a fake, and maybe the second, no. Jan not able to get the brace immediately. There's a chance for counter-attack as well, and Liam Nicholas, oh, that would have been beautiful. No, but yeah, getting that early goal is phenomenal. The lead is in Team Spring's hands for, I believe, the first time this series. Was a pinch Mux, that's not going to be in. Maybe the follow-up. Oh my goodness.
No.
DP had some of the best awareness to go for the screen here on Mux, so he couldn't follow up. And it didn't matter. Fancy was so good in the previous game, and it's really not quite the same.
Have the team switched colours by any chance? It seems a lot of what we saw from Serene in the previous 2 games are now rubbing off onto the Yonka side. We saw the horrible own goal in game number 2. We've seen it now in game number 3 going against Yonka. They find themselves down 2 goals. They need to bring it back, but luckily for them, they've got enough time to do it comfortably.
There's definitely time on the clock, and I mean, 2 goals, it's not insurmountable by any means. We've seen Onka score more than that in both their games, and yeah, they've been incredible the entire series, really. I mean, it's only been 2 games, but throughout that period of time, they've had, you know, ebbs and flows where Serene have showed promise, but they haven't been able to truly break through to any ridiculous scoreline. Now, they've got this in the start of the 3rd game, which isn't too bad, and it's definitely something to work on, but they're going to need to sustain this pressure. That's going to be 2 misses. That might be a downfield clearance, and everyone's going for bumps and demos. Somehow, they don't connect with the 1 defender left, and Jan isn't going to get that second touch. Gets the first elite. Mux as well wants to work this out. Needs to be a bit more consistent with this. They've both managed to get a goal, although, well, the Mux one, I think they'll call that luck, and that's just some copium that Onka need if they want to make sure they stay. But in this, oh my goodness, that is the most top corner you can get. The stanchion is ringing, I'm sure, and again, just a bit of disruption from DP makes it a difficult clearance, and Liam Nicholas finds that angle, finds that side of the pit, or the goal even, and no defender is there to reach.
Yeah, Nitch is known in this tier for being an ex-player of the division above. I had the pleasure of teaming with him last season, and he always used to tuck those kind of shots away, and he has done once again here for Onka. Again, that 2-goal deficit has gone down to a 1-goal deficit, and they've still got 3 minutes to get it back to a tie game and potentially go further. Serene, though, had a chance to make it 3-1. They're going to want to keep pushing for this 3rd goal should they want to take this game number 3.
Of course they want to take it. It's just a matter of being able to string it together, and I think, oh, this is a great chance. I was going to say, I think if Onka managed to get their second before Serene pull ahead and go to a tied game, then Onka might start to run away with it. They'll just have the confidence, and there we go again. Serene, they were up by 2 in such a short period of time, and in not as equally a short period of time, but pretty soon, you know, we've seen Onka fight back. They've shown they've got that grit, and maybe Serene, that they're looking at each other, they're just thinking, we had that, you know, that it was such a winnable position. Not necessarily the game was over, but it was a point in the game, in the series, where they should have been able to maintain that lead and hopefully work on it. But no, Onka, they've got that fight, and they just have that ability, all as players as well, to work together to give themselves that opportunity to get back in the game, and they could go well on to win this game and ultimately win the series with that extra game added on at the end. You predicted the 4-0, and I mean, looking at this, I would be not surprised in this, like, oh my, okay, never mind. Every time I try and speak, every time I try to make, you know, a solid prediction on how it's going to go, I get proven wrong, and Louis once more will do that to me. 3-2 in favor of Serene, so it's still a good position. It's a high-scoring series, these games all high-scoring as well, and this was a scoreline that was needed to win the last game, but we're halfway through, and there's plenty more time to go.
Yep, still half the game left in this one. Serene regained the lead once again. It's the first time they have taken a lead in this series has been in game 3. They haven't fell behind just yet, and currently doesn't look like they will be doing anytime soon as Fancy pops at mid. Double commit pinch out. Calculated is what you say in the chat to that one, as they do get away with not conceding once again. 2 minutes left on the clock now. Jan now down to the left-hand corner looking for Mux to transition out. Gets a big bang and clear away, though. Himself as Fancy returns the favour onto the backboard, though. Can't read this one. Or he can, Fancy. Just pogos that one straight downfield. Mux trying to touch it down, looking for a full for Serene. Louis gets it. Again, questions over the head of the Onka defence. I mean, they're just sitting there. No one's challenging the ball. It goes over all 3 players. Louis sorts it up right. 4-2 the score for Serene.
Louis can get the credit for that second goal. I believe it's only a second in the series, actually. Hasn't been too dangerous in front of goal, except from this game. But more so, that's something for Onka really to question about themselves, because no one was back post there, no one's rotating, they were all pushed a bit too far forward, and again, it's at this level where these guys are good, of course, that, you know, they're not rollovers, these guys know how to play Rocket League to a pretty high degree, but not quite that perfection, or at least that consistent level that you're expecting. There's always those mistakes, and it's about capitalizing on said mistakes. Louis will do just that. 3 goals in a row for Team Serene, and 3 goals in a row for Louis. They're all unanswered, and it's all something that's adding towards this scoreline, and you assume, at least now, that this game is going to be going in favor of the Serene roster. They have to make sure they can string together a few nice saves and possessions. But of course, Onka, they're in a tough position here. They only have 4 shots in this game. Louis has 5 on his own. That would have been a beautiful one if that went in. And Fancy, again, just adding to that pressure. No, Mux downfield. If he can work smartly with it, there might be a chance for counter-attack. But instead, Liam takes into the opposing side and again cut out by Yan. There's great pressure here from Serene. They are playing phenomenal Rocket League in this third.
Indeed, they are. It looks like a whole different Serene infield pass straight down to Mux, 6-2 the scoreline. I'm just currently staring out the window and watching my 100% prediction record fly straight out.
But mine is still on the table. It's difficult, to be fair, because if Serene were playing like this in the 4th game, then yeah, that original 2-2 that I said, I also threw that out the window. I said 3-1 for Onka. They were looking to make it a reality, at the very least. Yours was definitely the more realistic one, but well, Serene, they've shown that they'll be getting at least one, unless we see some of the most horrific wisps we've seen in a long time from Serene. But no, they are consistent. Mux with 2, Louis with 3, the team with 9 shots, and only 1 save between them. Actually, there's a couple of shots from Onka, but it's only a couple, it seems. They really can't do much in the opponent's third. They didn't, you know, they like to play more inside their own half and then breaking out, but when you can't break out, all that means is you're stuck in your own half in a game that you're not comfortable with because you can't stick to your game.
It's exactly that, but Serene, they've transformed, they've got 15 seconds left, nothing's going to change here, maybe another goal to waste some more precious time of our lives, but 10 seconds remain. It's going to go into the corner of Serene. Games can do absolutely loads for a team, even if they are going to go on to lose this one or going to go on to win it. The 2 games, the 1 game which they have earned themselves or could earn themselves, can do loads for them coming into the end of the season. I know we've just started, I know this is the first stream, but when you look at playoffs and how close the margins are to get into the playoffs, I mean, it's these games which really matter, and there's no reason why they should stop now in terms of trying to get to this draw.
Of course, I mean, a draw is it's not preferable, but it's what they might just have to settle for. And like you say, towards the end of the season, those tie breaks, if they go 4-0 in the next series they play, Serene, even also, if Serene lose this one 1-3, that's fine. But if they go 4 in the next one, they're in a better position. They have that positive, and you know, even if they go 1-3 in this, there will be a few teams, not many to be fair, because a lot of these processes are pretty balanced actually, but there'll be a few teams that go 0-4, and they've already got that tiebreaker. They're already just a bit ahead of those, so no matter how much they perform in the next week, there's a chance that Serene can stay ahead of them. And it's just eking that forward bit by bit. It's never an easy ask, of course, and starting off the season with a losing record isn't something any team wants to do. You know, no one sits down with the coach and thinks, right guys, let's throw the first series. It doesn't work out well. But they're proving that they have promise. You know, Onka is a strong side. They've got individuals and duos, a trio even, that looks very promising, and the ability to work together. But if Serene can fight back, you know, you're looking at Louis as that strong player. You're looking at Mux as someone that's been pretty consistent, actually, a few moments here or there, but someone, again, that can lead the team that you feel confident to stay with. And, well, it's a big ask, of course, to beat Onka, who was so dominant in the first 2 games, but if Serene can do that, there's no reason they can't turn this around.
Yep, they need to step up to the plate. They need to do it again. Repeat the same feat as last game, and you'll be just fine. Perform anything lower than that, and you could be in trouble. Onka still able to score, I believe it was 2-3 goals in that last game. I mean, games you can still lose 2-0, 3-0, and it'd be a big scoreline. You need to step up. It's vice versa. It's been some weird scorelines in this matchup also.
It really has, you know. There was, well, game 2 was that was 3-2 in favor of Onka, and that seemed, you know, a bit more balanced, even though Serene were maybe, you know, you could argue they were the stronger side in that one, but the others, they've been blowouts on scoreline. There's been closer moments for both teams. That I thought would have been a phenomenal own goal from Liam Nicholas, but not the case. Instead, cleared downfield. Mux to get to this. Mux will get to this easily enough for him as well. Fancy maybe just putting his team in a bit of a difficult position, and oh, that could be put in again, rifled towards the goal, but Fancy not going to make a mistake there. This is only just again in front of the box. That's going to be but Louis. Of course, it's Louis. If anyone's going to score for Serene or in this lobby, you know who it's going to be. Louis 2K representing Team Serene, and once more giving them the lead, putting them in a very, very good position. They have momentum. They've got the mentality aspect, I'm sure, as well. Now with that 4 shots in under a minute, they are looking on fire.
Great plays from Serene, horrible defense though from Onka. We saw the weird double commit, Nitch almost own goaling, dunking on Fancy. Then he was backwards on the back wall and couldn't find the touch, made Fancy really awkward. And then Louis was just there to slot the ball home, and it looks like Mux could add a second, trying to hook shot it over, straight over everybody in the mix, and no one's going to be home to slot that one away or to clear the ball away. He's done it himself.
Well, yeah, somehow he's taken the back to his own half. You might have thought it was intentional, you know, to take time. No, he gets intercepted by the other team, and then right back at them, and oh, Mux nearly puts that in again, looking for that second for the team. That won't be the case, at least immediately. Mux again into the corner, and I think he's just going for touches that aren't quite there. This one was going to more than work, as Louis can follow up. Louis gets nearly a goal from it. That would put them in a good position, but yeah, Mux, he's looking for stuff that isn't always there. I think maybe playing just with that bit more game sense, that bit more being aware of what your touches actually lead to. Once more it's cleared into the opponent, and I think that was second player, Mux. Now this one up. There is an opportunity for someone from Serene to follow up, but instead it's DP76 who gets to Liam Nicholas over one. A second misses. There's no one there from Onka to follow up, and that really should have been a goal somehow, which is the lack of rotations.
Exactly that, they've been able to hang on. They're still hanging on to a 1-0 lead, and they're going to have to keep it this way should they want to tie up this series, and I'm sure they do. GM Louis stepping up to the plate. At this point in time, won't be taking anything less than a draw given the situation. Fakes that one, couldn't get it past Fancy, who cut rotation to get the ball away superbly. Nitch up to get the touch. Nobody there to push the ball though. Chandler Bob's going to miss. Pandemonium double committing the defense, and this could be the moment where we see the podium flip. The pressure can start to come on from Onka. Team Serene need to recover. Nitch over to the right hand side wall. Fancy looking for DP off of the corner. No one's going to be there to slot it home. Louis there, however, to clear this ball away. Mux to follow it out further. Gets it over Nitch. Fancy there to continue the pressure for Onka. Surely this first goal, the goal to tie up the game, is coming. However, it's in Onka's own net. 2 minutes remain. 2 goals. The question yet again for Onka to recover.
And Onka, they seem a bit desperate now. Actually, the first game it worked phenomenally for them. The second game they managed to salvage. The third game, it didn't look too good. You know, that they weren't able to really do what they wanted to do in the first 2 games. That wasn't able to be replicated. In this fourth, I think they're in their own heads now. Mentality is such a big factor at any level of Rocket League. But you know, when you're not quite at that top level, when you haven't really trained your mentality and your mindset, you can really get in your own head. And they're trying for stuff. They're trying to go for these more aggressive pushes, and when it's not working, they're getting scored on the counter-attack, whether it's a long shot or just beaten on a simple enough counter-attack, and that is going to really put a dampener on your mood and how you see the game. Once more, there was a chance. There's a double commit, actually. Louis looking for a teammate. That won't be the case. Mux bringing this in. Maybe a second for him instead. Just rotates out, keeping it simple enough. Louis, as well, has been so good the past 2 games, making sure that impact is high. And again, Mux looking for a teammate. It will be Louis. These two, they've been phenomenal linking up, and as long as they can just keep this easily enough at a slow pace, then this last minute should go by pretty quickly, and Team Serene, well, they'll be able to take a 2-2 draw.
Currently, like you say, a minute left. They're going to have to hang on to it should they even want this 2-2 draw. Onka, however, still trying their very hardest for a win. It doesn't look like it's going to be happening. Louis there. All Serene need to do at this point in time is to delay the clock. It's onto the backboard. They want a third. Louis going to miss this one though. Can't allow Onka a chance to break. They've got 30 seconds to find 2 goals. It doesn't seem like it's going to happen for them. Louis this time off of the corner. Nitch to try and get something off the corner, trying to pass it down infield. No one's going to be home other than Janlov Bob to clear this one away. It's off into the infield again. Fancy there to connect. Saved away by Louis this time. Mux. 10 seconds remain. No boost for the man with cat ears on their car. Louis shot on. Looks like it's going to be 3 for
Oh,
Louis
okay.
gonna. Jesus, I don't know what to say for that. They've won the game.
Look,
Well,
it's an
they've won
unfortunate
the
way
game.
to end. I'm sure they'll take it. Okay, they've woken up. It took them definitely a while, but a 2-2 draw, it's never a scenario where, like I said earlier, you don't want to be fighting for a draw, but in this scenario, they had to, and not only did they fight, but they performed so well. It was great to see them manage to pull that out the bag. It didn't seem really possible that second game, bit on the fence, but yeah, no, Serene, they played great. Onka, they were strong, but Serene finished it up, and if this was a series of best of 5, best of 7, I really think Serene could have been able to take that.
If they could, they had the momentum behind them. However, this is what is so good about the 4-game series. We don't know if they could have reverse sweep that, if they could have fell at the final hurdle until we get to the playoffs. And that's what they want. They want the proving points at the playoffs, and they're going to have to make it there. But we're only in the first week of 9. And it just shows how long the season is. They've got to grind it out. They've got to get results to be able to make said playoffs. And that's what we're all playing for at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I can't actually remember, but I believe these two teams have a 0 goal difference as well. If anything, Serene might have a +1. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they both played very, very well. It was balanced all the way through, and I'm sure everyone else watching at home can agree with that. So they'll both be very middle of the pack, meaning that if anything, the next week is even more important than this one. And the next week will be pretty much their opening week again, because they'll be on a very even footing. Maybe, you know, they've played one of their weaker sides. They can play with stronger players at some point, and because of that, they'll be feeling much better about their chances. They can go ahead, they can look to steamroll some sides, and, well, hopefully work their way up the rankings.
Exactly that. That is what they're going to need. But it is going to end 2-2 between Onka and Serene.
irresistible. Won't you just see right through me? On the dying days when